Hey, what's up, people? Um, I made a video about pi, a great pie in the sky, piety, and just kind of following up a little bit where I broke down like etymological words and I kind of showed it how it applies to dissecting the sun in the sky and our calendar and all that good stuff. I was just doodling this morning and I wanted to share a couple things. Probably one of the oldest symbols for the sun is this right here. I think maybe that's where the decimal point came from. But so, and when I broke down the word piety and pious, it pertained to understanding pi. And I talked about the radius and the diameter. Diameter's etymology is heavenly measurement, and the radius was the ray or the raw or spoke or staff on the wheel of time. And Dios comes from daylit, charged with brightness, and it all has to do with this holy science. I think it's neat how our mathematical symbols come out of kind of doing this. So, like, just an example, I was just playing around this morning. Here's the oldest symbol for the sun. When we draw in that first line, we put in that heavenly measure of the diameter or the diameter. This is also like you can imagine the sun coming up on the horizon where we get Horus rising. And this first line, we're subtracting the day from the night. So this first line is symbolic of our subtraction symbol, which I find extremely interesting. I already kind of covered pi and its relationships to 315 on the clock and all that stuff. And I kind of touched on this being the music of the spheres. And in the Hermetic Code, they believe that the harmonic frequencies that we're born under that give us our personalities and our archetypes, which there's some evidence in that when you look at nature and you see when things are born and the geometric impressions you get with, turtle shells and butterfly wings and leopard spots. And if you're interested in somatics and all that stuff, I made a video about the logos. But so here's our division sign where we divide the day from the night. I'm sorry, I have a subtraction sign. And this number 7 over 22 is pi. There's 7 notes in the diatonic scale. Just like diameter, you got diatonics, heavenly tones. There's 7 notes in the major minor scale, or also the... I'm not a mathematician, I'm a musician. So I learned about this stuff through playing music, and I happened to just study through Pythagorean theorem, and I studied the church modes, which revolve around this sacred number 7 here. And if you take 3 octaves, which pi is 3.14, I rounded up to 3.15 just to make it fun. There's 22 notes in 3 octaves. So maybe there's some coincidentals there. That's supposedly the Hermetic Code ties into all that stuff. I'm not real keen on all that, but I know it's there somehow. And I know when you study the liberal arts, you realize geometry, music, space, astronomy, it's all woven together. So then here, after we put that first line in, we're going to take that primordial point and just move it up to an equal part. And if you just kind of draw an arc in there, you'll see you get the Vesica Pisces. So, and this is our division symbol where we get divination and divine, and that's associated with the female Vesica Pisces. So then here we're going to draw a line through those 2 lines, which is our addition symbol. What we're doing here is we're adding an axis mundi, if you want to call it, or the pole. And then we also have the 4 quarters of the cross. And then we can add in a couple more stations there, and we can get our cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. You get your ebb and your wan. And they say, let the Lord be thy shepherd, which in this case is the sun. And when you break this down like this, you have your 4 cardinal directions and then your more approximate northeast, southeast, southwest. You see it, but it's multiplying. So you have this multiplication symbol that pops out of that. And then eventually this becomes our clock on the wall, the year of our Lord, everything that we live and measure our lives by. So you start adding all your degrees, you get a perfect circle of 360 degrees. You add in your radius, your rays of hands from the sun god, and of course we have 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. That's due to our natural circadian rhythm and biological clock, but it's also has to do with our ancient counting system. And Protagoras says that man was the measure of all things, and that's because if we know thyself and you recognize the geometry in our body, that it overlays into the heavens and everything, and we're intricately tied into all this stuff. But it's much deeper than that. I just wanted to share that, and maybe someone will find these symbols fascinating. Anyways, have a great day.